Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another video. Today I wanted to talk to you regarding different camps, different people you used to associate with but you don't associate with them anymore, and how that all works out as your healing and growth continues. So let's jump in. What you will notice when you go through your healing process, and what I've been going through, the more and more healed I get, the less of the groups of people that I want to talk to and associate with or even have a conversation with. It's really hard almost to be just cordial with them, because a lot of times they will continue to try to talk with you and you just want it to stop. But years ago, or several months ago, whenever it was, in your healing and your growth process, you'll find that you are disconnecting from people that just don't serve you. They actually are kind of like what I described the narcissist last week. It's just like they don't really have an effect on you anymore, but they are like little gnats flying around, and they're annoying. It's almost like you want to just get the fly swatter out or something, knock them down, or get the insect spray, or just pay somebody to go out and spray all the gnats down or something. Like the insect repellent guy. Just, hey man, can you treat the side of my house because I got some narcissist gnats flying around? And that's kind of how I would describe it. But what you'll find is initially, and this is really like a big deal because it'll affect you in a lot of ways. It's you leveling up. But what you'll find is initially you'll separate yourself from the narcissist at anybody that's a narcissist in and around you, because when you wake up to it, there's never just one. There's going to be some in your family, there's going to be a couple of friends here and there, and then of course your ex-love partner or whatever. So first you're going to think it's just that individual, but then you're going to find that there's another one. Maybe you have they're coming at you from a different angle, but you've always been annoyed by the way they came at you, or you didn't feel like it was fair, the reciprocity was off or something. It was always something good for them. Isn't that how it is? They may give a little reciprocity, but it ain't going to be even. It's always got to be to benefit them. It's almost like a narcissist. They will apologize and make it look genuine if there's something good in it for them. And that's why when you level up, they'll come back looking real good. But it's the same old talk, y'all. It's the same old spirit. And what I've been finding is there's going to be different layers to that energy as you disconnect. There's going to be first the layer of getting all the narcissists out of your life when you wake up and feeling that out, getting your energy under control and differentiating between your energy and somebody else's, and how do you deal with that. Then you're going to level up a lot intellectually, spiritually, and grow in wisdom and understanding of things. That'll switch up your energy. There's going to be toxic levels, right? It's an algorithm, or it's a spectrum. So on the spectrum, you might have got rid of the real toxic ones. Well, now you've leveled up to a point where now you're getting rid of these maybe middle range or low range toxicity level individuals that aren't serving you anymore. I think as you grow in your own security, your own independence, your sovereignty in who you are, and you don't need any validation. There's even a spectrum to that. But at some point, once you get into your full independence and you really grab the reins to your life and you've leveled up hard, you put that work in, y'all, you get to a point to where I think this is where, in some cases, if you know the Lord's going to start to anoint you, because now you're at a healed state. You're at a state where you're balanced. You've balanced the left from the right. You've balanced how to assess individuals and situations and to deal with them in a just way, a righteous way, without having a bias. And a lot of that stuff takes time, because in your healing process, you're going to have different angles that are going to change of the way you used to look at things. I talked about this the other day, that generational curses come with evil foundations that you have to break from, or unjust. You could call it whatever you want. It's still evil. It may not be evil to the level of you trying to be benevolent. But nevertheless, it's not the right way to operate. And if it's not the right way to operate, it's going to be some sort of evil, right? Or some sort of injustice. Whether it's for you because you're given too much and not loving yourself enough, or the other person. You're not looking at them from your justice is a little off in your decision making. So as you heal, you balance that. And when you get that balanced and you're healed, you don't have any childhood injuries that are going to spark you to do something stupid and get in your ego state and start romping around or start acting a fool. You've gotten past all that. Well, part of this healing state is also getting rid of that mid-level and that lower level toxicity of people that aren't serving you. They may just be narcissistic or just not genuine. Or maybe in a professional setting, they're not professional enough for who you are now. You want to be taken seriously on all levels. You ain't no joke. And you're not on this earth to just play around. This is not a game. Nevertheless, whatever people and sick and toxic and evil people, however they want to look at it, is up to them. But for me, this is a war for my soul, and it's a pathway to betterment. It's an opportunity to influence others and to raise people's ability to think from a higher level when God leads me to do that. And that could be in anything. As long as you put him at the top, you know that you can't do it without him. And you have your best interests at heart for the people that you are speaking to, helping, or whatever that ministry or anointing placed, that mantle that's put on you, what its original intention was. I want to help individuals. I truly do. But like people say, you can't help people when you're hurt. You can't help people get straight when you need straightening, So you got to get your own house in order before you can help others. But I think to some degree, you could start working on your passion while you're still dealing with your healing, as long as you put it forth that that's what's going on. Like I say to you guys, I'm one of y'all. And when I started this channel, before people started stealing my material and using it to make a lot of money off of, speaking to people in my past, but that's okay because we're going to get that straight. And it'll be a blessing. That's the thing. Whatever the enemy has planned for you, when you're just and you're operating from a right standpoint, they can't shut you down like they want to. I've had gang stalking company from these individuals try to shut this thing down. That's why it slowed my traffic down a lot. And stuff ends up getting erased or manipulated, and they have smear campaigns out there now online about my information. But in the end, all that money that they made off of me, all the things they did, is going to be the same stuff that's going to impersonate them. And all those finances are going to end up coming back to me, and it's going to work for me. I'm going to take it and double it up, helping others. And that's how a curse becomes a blessing. That's how people that try to curse you causes you to just walk in abundance. You can't be stopped when you operate correctly and you put the Lord at the top and you have good intentions and you have obedience to your heart to follow the Lord as far as where he wants you to be and what he wants you to say and how he wants you to say it, and knowing you're here not just to serve yourself. And so that's kind of where I am right now. But you'll find people that you used to associate with, a lot of times, they don't serve you. They're always joking around, and they still try to look at you from what your original state before you were healed, that state of being was. And that's not who you are. And sometimes people try to come against you, but let them try, because they'll find out. You ain't the same, y'all. When you have leveled up, and I'm talking truly on all levels, several times over, your stature is different. Your anointing is different. Your information has gotten pinpoint and precise, and they're outmatched 10 to 1 when it comes to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you've been blessed with and that you put the work in. I'm not using this as in a prideful way, but in my humility, or in the humility y'all have out there, when you put the work in, God blesses hard work. And that's one of the reasons why the narcissist is perpetually in a state of failure, because they don't put the work in. They'd rather take the shortcut. They'd rather destroy individuals or plot and plan and strategize to take down good individuals for their benefit so they can create more evil and mayhem. These individuals should be locked up for life, man. You're talking about when you're dealing with anti-socials that continue to double down and defame your name, your reputation, try to get you fired, try to get your material off the air. And these people are disgraceful. They're despicable. They should be ashamed of themselves. They will say everything that they are doing to you. If they're prostituting themselves, this is what they do. This is true. This is the truth, y'all. As bad as it is, and as much as I don't want to talk about this stuff, I feel like at some point in time, I have to. It's like ridiculous. What do you want me to do? Is sit here and be a feather pillow for you to just punch on every day, all day, and to not respond to your idiotic ways of thinking? They continue to double down. They'll say you're stalking them when I have video footage of them stalking me, coming to my house, parking their cars with binoculars and stuff for no reason, just because they're infatuated, which is ridiculous. Listen, y'all, it's ridiculous to even have to, it's foolish to even have to have this conversation. But these individuals will go to the police department and talk like you were stalking them, harassing them. They'll tell their friends and family and people they'll come to your work. They'll get these smear channels and pages online, and they will say that you're a prostitute and that you can, everything they're doing, that you can't get enough of them when you don't want anything to do with them. Like I said, they're like gnats. But a lot of times at this point in time, the people that have been screwing around with me have done so much that once the hammer comes down, and these people are being followed, checked out, watched, tapped, and everything, and these idiots think they're never going to see behind bars. And we're not talking about jail. We're talking about like 50 years in prison or something. These idiots. They think that prison's not for them. Like they could do bank fraud and insurance fraud and identity theft. They can get false marriages and death certificates and life insurance policies. They can do evil, brutal stuff and then double down on it and quadruple down on it. And at some point, they played their hand so deep that there's not anybody at work, school, church, the police department, the fire department, the federal department, the school teacher, nobody, even the gangland people and the drug smugglers and dealers and the sweatshop people, all these idiots that they deal with, their coven, their cult kicked them out. Nobody is having it because all they do is, the narcissist typically brings a line of destruction and mayhem behind them. But at some point, these people need medical help. They're out here rogue, like flipping the hell out. And I don't know how they're still out here on the streets, or if they are still, I don't know. Because we're talking about diabolical idiots, man, who just don't, when we talk about the fantasy, they have no intuition. None. They just are so dedicated to doing what they're doing, they're fixated in a psychotic way at some point. Because you're just surviving, you're striving, surviving, you're digging in, you're putting the hard work in it, and every time they come at you, you just level up. They can't have that. Everybody's got to be below them. Anybody that they know has to always be below them, or they got to sabotage it. And if they can't sabotage you, then they can't stop coming at you until they're utterly sick and under the ground, which is happening as well. I feel like people in Charlotte are having heart attacks on a daily basis. And it's because of all this witchcraft that they've thrown out, and it comes back to them, and they just walking down the street in the rain and drop dead. They go to a graduation and drop dead. They might have gotten arrested, and they're sitting there getting interrogated and just drop dead from heart attacks, man. When you start putting witchcraft on people like that, you're talking about you may have less than 6 months to live, a year, when you're doing death spells and stuff over and over, when even the practitioners tell you don't do it, don't even use me anymore, because they've had stuff come back to them. That's what will happen on your energy level. As you change, then you're not going to be interested in talking to certain people. But if you knew them from your past, even if you were just cordial with them, it seems like you just can't shake those people too. It's like you try to just mind your own business now, like completely. And it's like they just come out of the woodwork. They always need help. They always got questions. Most of the time it's because they're lazy and they haven't even tried. It's like somebody who comes to you with a battery operated piece of equipment, and they'll be like, you got to fix it. It's broken. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried. And then you open the back of the box of the mechanism, and it doesn't even have any batteries in it. So you're thinking to yourself, so you tried to fix this thing and you never thought to turn it around and see if there was batteries in it? No, you're gaslighting. You're a liar. And this is what happens. I also wanted to talk about how you're just going to distance from old energy. And when you see ego versus authenticity is your true self. So when once you get into your full-on authenticity, you're authentic. You're authentically authentic. And you're walking in how you were naturally supposed to be, from head to toe. And when you're doing that, everything in your body and your spirit is in tune and it's flowing right. There's no cutoffs. There's no tension. There's no thoughts that you might have did something wrong, because you know the clues and you follow them out. Well, when you're dealing with somebody with ego, it takes a lot of energy to supply ego because it's fake, it's false. So you have to fill it with fuel. And that's why the narcissist needs so much fuel. You know, if they would walk in their true authentic self, they wouldn't need fuel, because authenticity is what fuels you. That's your generator. But when you have somebody that's coming at you in ego, and they're coming at somebody that's authentic, they're outmatched, because you don't get tired and you don't back down. They will have to at some point. They will get taken down at some point by the law, by the authorities. And if it's not by the authorities physically in this 3D, it's going to be the authorities in the spiritual realm that will take them out, because there are checks and balances. And if you don't get them here from the physicality, you best believe you're going to get them from the Almighty. And he's going to send out some powerful angelic host to do his bidding, because that's just the way it is, y'all. When they come at you that way, they can't keep coming at you like that. They will get narcissist injuries, collapses. They'll get collapse after collapse because they're disobeying, and they won't leave you alone, especially if you are a chosen source, a chosen individual that's healed, and they keep coming at you. It's like they're cursing themselves. And it's almost like a tenfold curse. That's why when you do death spells on people over and over and over and they don't die, well, first of all, it's God telling you that you can't kill them. I'm protecting them. Why? Because they're not evil and they don't deserve that. And I'm not going to allow that. But it is going to get reversed and sent back to you. And God has amazing grace on all of us. And he's not a respecter of persons. But at some point, when you are completely evil, like decrepit, and you keep doing stuff, man, your grace is on zero. It's on empty. And he'll let you get the full brunt of that. And he won't even feel bad. Or, well, a lot of people won't even feel bad, because you know what? They're going to know what was coming to you. They're going to know you're an idiot, you're a fool, and this should have happened a long time ago. But everybody was nice to you. In fact, the evildoer typically gets a lot more grace than people that are trying to do righteousness. But as you find your independence, more and more ego-driven people are going to fall away from you. And they'll attack you too. But like I said, when you're authentic, they can't keep up. And you're growing. When you're growing at an exponential rate, it scares them. Because they know that either they left you or they mistreated you bad enough to where you left them. And they know it had everything to do with why whatever friendship, relationship, coworker relationship in business or whatever, they were the reason why it ended. Because they continued to think that they can come against people that are doing righteousness and think that there's never going to be any repercussion, that you're always going to come back, or you're going to continue to stay no matter what stones they throw at you. Well, in some cases that's true, but in others, no freaking way. So you get on other levels. As your energy grows, you want to be professional. You want to be authentic, and you want to be looking at things from the right angle. You got to get away from the evil foundations that you've been taught. And a lot of times what it is it's a foundation, few things in these foundational ways of thinking that you needed to tweak to make them 100%, so that you can walk into your authentic true self. But if you have enough of those out there, then they will have a negative effect on you, and they can hurt your life. But a lot of times it's the company you keep, the contracts, consents, your boundaries, and to the level of how much you love yourself. So if you can give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up. Anytime you see ego, just know that it's somebody in that ego state, whether it's all the time, like a narcissist, or part of the time, like an empath that's unhealed, that can get triggered into ego or whatever. Just know that they're covering, whenever you see ego, it's somebody that's trying to protect childhood injury. That's it. They're trying to convince you that there's somebody that they're not, or put forth a narrative that they want you to believe. That's not them at all. That's it. Love you all till next time. So Jeff, peace be out.